Okay, before I start, I just want to say very clearly, I'm not a hair expert, a cosmetologist, or a curl specialist. I'm just really curious about my own waves, what seems to help them or completely destroy them. I have been on this wavy hair journey since I was a teenager in the 80s. Yes, I'm that old. And I'm just starting to figure it all out. I don't want you to have to wait as long as I have consistently good hair days. I want to help you figure this out now. So when I talk about this stuff, I'm researching. I'm going off of my own experiences. I'm looking at ingredients and products and finding common patterns. I'm getting a little nerdy and scientific in my research, and I'm listening to you, sharing your difficulties and your curiosities. I may not have all of the answers, but I will share with you what I know and what seems to work for my type 2 wavy hair. Hi, I'm Nikki. Welcome to the Pause Bound. Oh my goodness, I had no idea that there were so many of us struggling with our waves. I thought that I was the only one out here paddling my way to Lonely Hair Island, but that is definitely not the case. You all have showed up and commented and asked questions and shared your wavy hair routines, or that you're still looking for a routine. I feel you and I've got you. I know the struggle. Welcome to this weird wavy island that we're all on. I've gotten quite a few questions, one of which was, Nikki, how do I know that my hair is actually wavy? So let's tackle this question in this video. And no, you do not have to pull a string of hair from your head, place it in a glass of water to see if it floats or sinks. Or if you're like me, it doesn't seem to want to make up its mind of what it wants to do. And for most of my life, I actually thought my hair was curly, which is why I tried for years to make that curly girl method work. I hated my hair. It was difficult. It was bad in humidity, especially here in Florida. Every time I would walk outside in the summer when it storms constantly, especially in the afternoons, no matter how pin straight I got my hair with the flat iron, humidity won every single time. My bangs would start to look wonky and then the frizz rolled in like Widow's Bay fog. It happened with my pixie cut as well. Just walking around in the heat and humidity last year in Mexico gave me clown hair. It was embarrassing. And when you have a pixie cut, there's not much that you can do about it. There's no hair to pull back into a ponytail. Now, in the 80s, my hair wasn't much of a problem at all. Big hair and perms, they were in, and so was crunchy hair and bangs that lifted halfway to heaven. We all wanted volume and texture, and I didn't have to struggle like my straight-haired friends did. But then the sleek 90s came, and straight hair, more polished hair, took over. Smooth blowouts and pin-straight hair using flat irons, and that's when I really started to struggle with my hair. My natural hair wasn't curly enough to look intentionally curly, and it wasn't sleek and straight enough either. And in the mid-90s, I started working in corporate America, and I felt the pressure to look more polished and professional. So blow drying with a round brush and flat ironing, it became part of my daily routine. Not just because it looked neater, but because it made me feel more put together, which helped my confidence and self-esteem. When your hair cooperates with current beauty standards, you often feel more confident socially and professionally. So for years, straightening my hair, it wasn't really about rejecting my natural texture. It was about trying to feel confident in the world that I was navigating at the time. The interesting thing about my hair is that it is not evenly wavy. So some pieces barely wave at all. The left side of my head has a looser S shape than the right side. And underneath, I actually have some pretty defined S-shaped waves. And that is extremely common with wavy hair. You can absolutely have multiple textures on one head. The underneath layers are more defined, I believe, because they're often more protected from heat, from sun exposure, and friction. The underneath hair actually keeps its wave pattern better, while the top layer gets more damaged or stretched out over time. And from the research that I've done, repeated heat styling, it really can affect how visible your wave pattern is. You know, if you flat iron over years, it can weaken elasticity, it can damage the cuticle and stretch out looser wave sections. So your top layer may stop waving as much simply because it has taken the most abuse over time. I think that's what happened to my hair. Coloring and highlighting affected my texture too. I'm a natural brunette. And before I grew out the gray in 2021, I would get my roots touched up every 4 weeks and my blonde highlights every 8 to 12 weeks. So there are a lot of things affecting how our texture behaves besides genetics alone. Okay, let me show you something that is super common with wavy hair and something that a few of you asked me to do. Let's go brush out my hair. Okay, a couple of you have asked me what would it look like if I brush my hair. So it's nighttime, I've washed my face, brushed my teeth, put my triple rosacea cream on my face. That's prescription from my dermatologist because I got a couple of things on my face there, probably from eating too much junk lately. All right, so how do you tell if you have wavy hair? Let's go ahead and brush this stuff out. So I've got a couple of brushes here. Yeah, I got sucked into the Denman stuff. So I've got this one, boar bristle one. I've also got this really nice Mason Pearson one that I got in Paris in 2017. Barely got any use to it. Oh look, another Denman. Yep, I had it all, people. I'm telling you, when I did the curly method, I had it all. Got the brushes, got the stuff. All right, here we go. Take 3. It's all coming apart here. All right, so yeah, let's see. Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff, right? Okay, let's go in with the, we'll go in with the Denman. Why not? Boar bristle. All right. So we're brushing. And if your hair looks like this when you brush, which is kind of a frizzy mess, a little bit straight, a little bit wavy, not attractive whatsoever, but if you've brushed your hair and it looks like this, yeah, you probably have wavy hair. Let me brush the underside too. I don't brush my hair, guys. If you've seen my other videos, you know that I just do like this to get all the loose curls or loose hairs out of it before I get into the shower. But I don't brush my hair, guys. So this is, oh, this is gross. Oh, God. Ugh. Okay, let's try the other brush. The one that you're supposed to make waves and curls with. Yeah, okay, whatever. All right, you all getting this? There you go. If you didn't believe that I have wavy hair, here you go. This is what it looks like brushed out. Gross. Just absolute grossness. Ugh. It's poofy. It's got some waves to it. Some is straight. Can you see it? I'll turn around. Yeah. Not pretty, right? And this is probably what you guys are dealing with too. If you're on this channel looking at this stuff, looking at my content, yeah, you've probably got this too. This is it. So, okay, I'm gonna put it back up into my comb here, into my clip, because I don't want to scare small children, let alone you guys. So we're just gonna put it up. But, you know, a few of you have asked me about that. What does your hair look like brushed? Well, there it is. It's poofy, it's gross, and it needs a wash day. So, all right, that's it for combing out or brushing out my hair. So that is what happens when I brush my wavy hair dry. It gets poofy, fluffier, bigger, and frizzier no matter what type of brush I'm using. And if your hair does this too, you may have wavy hair. What happens when I brush is I'm breaking apart my wave clumps. When wavy hair dries naturally, strands tend to group together into little sections or clumps. And when you dry brush it, you separate all those groupings. So instead of seeing defined waves, you see expansion and frizz. One of the biggest signs that you may have wavy hair is my hair is frizzy no matter what I do. Because a lot of what we call frizz is actually disrupted texture. So here are some clues that your hair may actually be wavy. Your hair bends or flips naturally. Your roots are flatter. Humidity makes your hair expand. Your hair looks smoother wet than dry. Some pieces curl underneath. Your hair air dries differently every time. One day you may have flowing beach waves and the next day you look like a swamp witch. You have random S-shaped pieces or maybe even some spirals underneath like I do. Your hair gets huge when you brush it dry. Straight hair stays relatively smooth when brushed, while wavy hair is fluffier, wider, and undefined. When you straighten your hair, it doesn't always stay sleek. Your hair holds bends from buns or braids easily. And guess what? My hair stays wet the entire time that it's in a bun. Your hair may also get poofy instead of silky. Your hair turns into a fluffy triangle when dry. And your hair holds a curl really easily with a curling iron. If some or all of this sounds familiar, it's very possible you have waves hiding in there. I also got some questions and comments regarding waves and hormones, such as my hair was straight until pregnancy, or menopause made my hair wavy. Well, I can't personally speak to pregnancy because I don't have children. So many women commented that their hair changed after pregnancy or menopause, and I started to research it. I'm currently going through menopause myself, and I think it's contributing to more definition in my S pattern. Hormones can affect the shape of the hair follicle. It can affect elasticity, oil production, growth cycles, protein structure, and the diameter of your hair. And when the follicle shape changes, the texture can change too. Straighter hair can become wavy, curls can loosen, waves can become curlier, texture can become coarser. You may have increased frizz or more dryness. So it makes sense that some women notice waves appearing later in life or after having a child. Estrogen fluctuates during pregnancy and it declines during menopause. When estrogen drops, your hair becomes drier. It has a rougher texture. It has less moisture, and it may become finer. And you might lose more strands. Being in menopause, I have definitely noticed more scalp visibility in the front of my hair. I think we need to address the emotional side of wavy or curly hair. I had someone comment that they stopped wearing their hair curly because they're autistic. And not being able to run their fingers through their hair, it became a sensory trigger for them. And I really did appreciate this comment because it highlighted something people don't talk about enough. Hair routines are not just about aesthetics. They're about comfort, identity, routine, confidence, sensory experience. I often catch myself twirling the underneath spirals. It's a relaxing behavior for me. Some people absolutely cannot tolerate the way a product feels or how it smells. I've received a few comments asking for recommendations on fragrance-free products. And if you have any recommendations, please help out our wavy community by leaving them in the comments below. Some people don't like crunchy waves or tangles or not being able to freely touch their hair. So I get it when people with wavy hair go back to straightening it. Over the years, I have gone back and forth several times. For years, straighter hair, it gave me confidence, and I don't regret that. You have to do what makes you feel good, even if it goes against your natural texture. So if you've been wondering whether your hair might actually be wavy, you do not need a 14-step curly hair routine to find this out. Try this first. Brush it dry. Does it poof up like mine did? Use lighter products. Add mousse or gel on soaking wet hair. Scrunch, air dry, or diffuse. And then see what happens. You might discover your hair has been trying to wave this entire time. And if it turns out your hair is still mostly straight, well, that's okay too. But if your hair suddenly starts making little S shapes and clumps and weird bends, welcome. You may have secretly been part of the Wavy Hair Club all along. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've got a lot more to come, such as breaking down ingredients to see why some of these products work better for my waves than others. And I want you to come along as I declutter this retail store that I have going on behind me. But before I can do that, I have to understand which ingredients work for my hair type. Please remember to like and subscribe. Hasta luego, my friends.